So, congratulations, guys. How does it feel to be out in public for the first time as a real couple?
It's still surreal. It's the first day. We've been in press all day, so
We're waiting to, like, seriously to start our relationship, which is going back and getting in PJs and smashing one of the biggest sleeps you've ever had.
So, are you going to have a first official real life date? Take her out for dinner or go to a movie?
She looked at me today. Sorry, Bianka looked at me today, and she's like, "Let's go out for dinner." Like I was like, "Kid, in 20 minutes from now, I'm gonna be doing one of the, like just over the back." So I think I'm gonna try to get her out as soon as I can, but we have to catch up on some Z's.
You need to get well rested before
Yeah.
you go on a real date.
Yeah.
So how did you guys stay connected during your time apart? I know you haven't really seen each other at all in 5 months. Must have been hard.
lots of Skype, lots of phone calls, and we were lucky enough to have a few trips set up for us from the Bachelor Canada, so it allotted for some.
We were
some alone
worried
time.
that there wasn't gonna be, once the production stopped, that the humanity for the relationship would be out the back door, but they did a great job, especially right after we had 14 days, as soon as the show ended, to be like, okay, let's see if this is gonna really work, and within about 42 seconds we knew.
So that's great. They didn't keep you separated. They actually...
They were great to us. They really did, and when we look back on it, we owe Bachelor Canada everything.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So did you guys watch it, with your friends and family as it went through the process, or did you watch it by yourself because you were too embarrassed, or what did you do?
We both watched it with friends,
Yeah.
and then we would watch it together over Skype. And last night we watched it I had about 60 people at my house, and he came in the last 15 minutes and surprised everybody. So
Oh,
it was
wow.
pure chaos. That's why we didn't have any sleep last night.
It was nuts. I walked in and her buddy's like, "Hey, Brad," and like everybody else was like, "Hmm," and then her godmother was like, "Oh my God, it's Emmy's here!"
And everybody just went crazy. It was awesome.
Do you ever get embarrassed watching yourself on TV and...
Constantly. They edited me in a great way because B will tell you 95% of who I am is not serious whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
So there could have been a lot more embarrassing moments than just looking like a hot mess in Mexico. we got down from the boat and the wind was blowing so hard that my hair had so much product in it that it was like Hugh Grant-esque, and she looked like Cruella de Vil.
Oh, that's a beautiful...
We got off the boat, we're like, holy, okay, let's get in the water quickly.
So now that you've watched all the episodes and you've looked back, do you think there's anything, Brad, you would have done differently throughout the filming?
You can always look back in hindsight, but if I'm sitting here right now in the situation that I am, I can't have made too many bad decisions, and I made the only one that mattered.
Cheeseburger.
Here.
I love the cheeseburger thing. I think that's really
Well, that was
cute.
the entire show. I called her that.
Oh, yeah?
Because we'd be in Paris, and I was trying to have like this serious conversation, and she's like, "You're such a cheeseburger," and as she said that, the horse like farted, and we're sitting there, "Oh, babe, you smell," and she's like, "It's not me, it's the horse." But we embraced it. We embraced the cheese, and that's
That's the solid foundation your relationship is built upon. It's the cheeseburger moments, right?
You have to. I mean, if you want to be true to wanting to spend your life with somebody, you have to. I think you have to have a wide emotional spectrum and not just be
Serious at all times. So in the Women Tell All, I noticed, there were a few of them that suggested that, oh, well, I never really had feelings for him in the first place, or there was no real connection. And it seemed to me like they were just kind of sore losers and they were making that up after the fact. What did you think of that?
Teach their own, I can't judge them because that's a really tough situation. Specifically, though, I was never in any situation where if anyone ever told me, and even if my real life, that they didn't like me, then I wouldn't even be. You can ask B. I was there to make the girls who I had a connection with like me. I wasn't there to just be like, well, if you don't like me, I've got 24 other girls. It's just not who I am.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I was definitely shocked to see some of the things that the women said at the Women Tell All, because I was there and it didn't happen like that. So.
I guess you can
But
make
like
up...
he said, to each is your own.
Yeah, you can make up the story you want and tell yourself, but
As long as it means if you're trying to vindicate it for yourself, then that's all that matters. I don't think we're so happy about how we were portrayed on the show, and we came off looking like ourselves, and we understand like it's big picture now. Real life starts 5 months ago. Real life starts today, and that's what we have to do moving forward, is concentrate on ourselves.
So what does real life entail for you now? I know you're doing a bunch of press, but are you planning on moving in together? Is there wedding planning happening, or?
I moved in last night.
You did?
Oh yeah.
We moved in last night. There's definitely wedding planning within the next 6 months, we hope.
Yeah, I'm leaving here after this and getting handcuffs, and then she's never leaving my side.
So are you going to be based in Toronto?
Yes.
Yeah? And what are your plans?
Immediately to focus on our relationship and take the time that we need to acclimatize ourselves to having kind of a relationship. Having a relationship. Do you know what I mean? Going out in public, holding her hand, just going out to dinner, just
being with our friends and
being with
family,
our friends,
having to lie to everybody.
Like it's just that's what we could sit here and talk about. Like, oh, in 2 years I wanted this. We're just excited to be allowed to be together in public.
And get into your first fights, about the real life stuff, like doing the dishes and.
Oh, I don't do the dishes.
No.
We've already had those arguments. I've accepted he's a very messy person, and I'll probably have to clean up after him for the rest of my life. And
well, that's the real test. If you
we
can
came to an
accept
agreement,
that.
though. He'll cook, I'll clean, and that's that.
It's people who want to go through the honeymoon thing, or you don't fight, or even my sister said to her, "Is like, when do you guys have your first fight?" Well, it's been 5 months of pretty trying times in the in-between process. And we'll have like arguments, but I'm very passive when it comes to her, and she has the rebound rate. If she gets mad at me, of about 22 seconds. So we're starting with a good foundation because we were so similar.
Oh, that's great. So if they decided to now go ahead and make a Canadian Bachelorette, who would you like to see be the star of that?
Well said, Laura B.
I'd say Laura B.
That was my pick too.
She out of a lot of the girls that I met on that thing, she's just like, you never once questioned anything about her sincerity, how genuine she was, and she's be tight. She's just a beautiful girl.
That's fantastic. So do you have any last sort of advice for single people in the city who are still looking for love? I know you found it in a pretty unconventional way, but
apply for the next Bachelor.
Oh, go on TV.
But unfortunately, Brad won't be there. So ladies, you're out of luck.
Well, no, the thing is that if you're really true to if you're really true to the process of that show, it can work. You just have to make sure that the person that you choose has the same goals and came on for the same reasons you did. I'm not ashamed to say, like, if I never was going to go in and be like, my wife's in the room. I wanted them to put her in there so that I could find her and then decide what I was going to do together. Having a conversation in Barbados was not, I'm going to propose to you. It's, what if I did do this? Would that be something that you're okay with? Because that's real life. And that's what the Canadian version's done really well, is it's shown such a realistic side.
Do you think there's a big difference between the Canadian version and the American version?
I don't know. I don't have the information to...
You weren't a big American Bachelor fan before?
Well, no, I've seen the show for sure, but it's hard to say on the outside looking in.
Yeah, that's true.
There's something about Canadians, though. I just feel like we're so wholesome.
I found it came off a bit more real and a bit more polite and genuine, and even, especially the women tell-all, everyone was, talking highly of one another.
So did the first American version as well.
Yes,
so.
that's true.
Yeah, it's so funny though, because you'd have the girls up as the women tell-all being like, you're this, you're this, you're this, and by the end they're like, I love you.
Yeah.
I was like, she just disrespected you on TV that many times, but that's who we are. We're very forgiving people if you're quick to say sorry.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us,
pleasure.
and best of luck in your relationship. It looks like you guys are a great match.
Thank you.
Couldn't have done. Like, what world am I in where a girl like this comes on a show to find a normal guy like me? So I really upsold myself hard on this one.
Well, hang on to her. Don't let her go. Get those handcuffs ready. Thanks so much, guys.
Yes, you're on a milk
Thank
carton.
you.
I said that, yeah.